The leaks and rumors are going crazy for the Nintendo Switch 2 right now. You got these accessory companies saying, screw it, I'll show the Switch 2 myself. I'm tired of waiting for you, Nintendo. You got GameStop allegedly having Switch 2 items showing up in their system and then promptly removing them. You got potential social features and apps. Some potential third-party games are starting to leak. And speaking of the games, there are rumors surrounding what will be the launch game, and even more surprising, what may not be the launch game, along with the potential return of a much beloved franchise, but in a surprising way. And that's what I want to focus on today, the games. Now, all of this should be taken with a grain of salt. These are rumors, and these rumors are coming from someone that's had a bit of a shaky past. But it was just interesting to me that they were confidently stating that two of the more popular choices for the Switch 2 launch game, Mario and Mario Kart, would not be there at launch. The person behind this rumor is Samus Hunter, and in their tweet, they wrote 3D Mario and Mario Kart and showed a GIF of Miyamoto shaking his head no, indicating that no, neither of those are the launch game. And then they go on to say that, reminder, it is more important to have a constantly updated lineup each month than to have all the best games available at day one and then have months with few new releases. Don't worry about those two games. And they even had Necro Felipe, a journalist and editor-in-chief of Universal Nintendo, agreeing with them, saying that they didn't even think that 3D Mario was coming in the first calendar year of the Switch 2. And that would be really shocking to me if Nintendo were to not have a brand new Mario ready to go at launch, or let alone ready to go in the first calendar year of the Switch 2. And it's just hard to imagine Nintendo launching their next major system without any of their big guns. No Zelda, no Mario Kart, no Mario. Would Nintendo really launch the Switch 2 without Mario? What's up, everyone? This is Justin, and welcome to Just Keep Playing. Please join me today as we take a look at the possibility of Nintendo launching the Nintendo Switch 2 without Mario. What game or games would be able to fill that void? We're going to talk about that and more in this video today. I have a video talking about why I feel that a big brand new Grand Adventure 3D Mario game is the perfect launch title for the Switch 2. And I have a link for that video in the description. But so the common thought process you hear is that the Switch 2 is going to sell well initially anyway, so it doesn't need Mario. And while yes, I definitely agree that Nintendo doesn't need to overload the launch of the Switch 2 with all of their big hitters, and that it's better to space their big games out and have a steady cadence of at least one big game every month or so, Nintendo still needs to have one of their big guns out there pushing the Switch 2 on day one. They need to have that heavy hitter, that revolutionary game of the year contender type of game, 90 plus Metacritic, must play, that shows what makes the system special. So if not Mario or Mario Kart, what game could it be? The most popular choice to take their place is Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. And Metroid Prime 4 would be hype as a launch title, and for the most part, it checks all of those boxes. Metroid games are definitely often revolutionary, or at the very least, they're standard bearers in their genre. They're most definitely Game of the Year level games. Every mainline Metroid Prime game has a 90 or above average Metacritic rating, and they certainly show what their respective system can do and what makes it special. But the two biggest strikes against Metroid, though, are that as far as sales go, it's not really quite at that big hitter status. And perhaps even more importantly, Metroid isn't exactly the biggest seller in Japan, and that's probably the biggest mark against Metroid as a launch title. But they could get away with it if Samus had a little bit of help, especially in Japan. So Nintendo, they like to launch their new systems, especially on the home console side of things, with a game that essentially serves as kind of like a tech demo for the controller, a game that really shows off what all the gimmicks and innovations in the controller are capable of. And the biggest example of that is Wii Sports. When that came out, that was the game more so than Twilight Princess that really sold people on the Wii. People being able to hold that Wii controller and just swing the controller for like a tennis racket is what really had people like, oh man, okay, I get the concept of this system and this is amazing. And so in that vein, I could see them pairing a Metroid Prime 4 launch with the brand new Switch Sports Resorts type of game as a launch title too. But Samus could still use a little bit more help. Japan, they still need to have their big media venture. Nintendo they love to launch their systems with a game that's the big media venture type here. Mario 64, Twilight Princess, games like that. And so if they're not going to really vibe with Metroid like that, they still need to have their big media venture game to latch on to too. And for that, I could see Nintendo reaching out to one of their third-party partners and securing a major exclusive third-party game for the launch of the Switch 2. And there hasn't been many third-party partners bigger than Square Enix for Nintendo and the Switch. And there's a game that we haven't heard or seen anything from since it was announced years ago. And that game is Dragon Quest XII. Now, I know that might not be the most popular thing to hear. Some people aren't really feeling exclusives like that. And even Square Enix themselves has made statements recently about aggressively pursuing a multi-platform strategy, especially with all of their big games going forward. But where Final Fantasy may not have the motion like it used to have in Japan, Dragon Quest still has the juice in Japan. And as far as software sales go in Japan, Nintendo is Japan, and software on the Switch is dominating the charts, and I expect that to continue with the Switch too. So where Square Enix may have bet on the wrong horse with their exclusivity agreement for Final Fantasy on PlayStation, Dragon Quest on Nintendo Switch 2 is about as safe of a bet as there can be, especially in Japan. So now, but before anyone gets too upset about me suggesting Dragon Quest XII as a Switch 2 exclusive, it wouldn't be forever, just for that launch period, like launch year or so. But I could see it following a similar path as like Octopath Traveler, Triangle Strategy, where maybe Nintendo even publishes the game, and so it's exclusive for a period of time, and then after a little bit, Square Enix takes over publishing duty again, and then the game will show up on other platforms. So, but with the launch combination like that, Metroid Prime 4, a Switch Sports Resort style game, and a big third-party mover like a Dragon Quest XII, I think that Nintendo would be okay without Mario at launch. But what do you think? Does Nintendo need Mario or Mario Kart at launch, or would they be okay with taking a chance on the Metroid Prime style of game for its launch? Let me know what you think should be the launch game, or what you think might be the launch game, in the comments below. All right, so next up, we need to talk about this returning franchise that Samus Hunter was hinting at. In another tweet, Samus Hunter said that, "I hope that 2025 will give fans of classic Zelda-like games a new adventure to enjoy, and that they will appreciate it despite being a game from another series." I have read some interpret this as if it is a remake. It is a new game, not an old one. It's a little strange after Zero resuming a formula from the most unique title in the series, but I've heard good things about it. Now, the two key words from this post are Zero and Adventure. Zero referencing Star Fox Zero and Adventure referencing Star Fox Adventures. Now, we haven't seen Star Fox in a proper Star Fox game since Star Fox Zero on the Wii U back in 2016. We got somewhat of a Star Fox type game on the Switch when Ubisoft released that Starlink Atlas game, but it wasn't a real proper Star Fox game. It would have been cool if they just would have like scrapped the whole Starlink thing and just made it a Star Fox game, but they didn't do that. They just kind of threw Star Fox in there and added it onto a game that they were already working on. So we haven't really seen a proper Star Fox game since that 2016 Wii U release, and it wasn't the most well received Star Fox game. People didn't really like how the controls were with the Wii U. It was a little maybe overly complicated. There's been maybe some hope that we would get a port of the Wii U game on the Switch, and that they would maybe fix the controls, because there was actually a pretty good game hiding under all the convoluted control schemes, but we haven't seen that yet. And then there have been some rumors of Bandai Namco working on a unannounced action game for Nintendo. Well, not really a rumor, because we had job listings and everything confirming it, to go along with the announcement of two studios inside of Bandai Namco created solely for the purpose of working on Nintendo games. But the speculation and hope was that maybe they were working on a remaster or remake of either Kid Icarus Uprising or maybe Star Fox Assault. But nobody saw a new Star Fox Adventures game coming. Maybe a remaster, but a brand new game, nobody saw that one coming. Star Fox Adventures came out on the GameCube back in the day, and it was originally supposed to be an N64 game called Dinosaur Planet, but Nintendo or Miyamoto came through and flipped the script on everybody and thought that Star Fox would be a better fit for the game rather than it being a wholly brand new original game. So then Star Fox Adventures came out, and it threw people for a loop. It was Star Fox, but it was Star Fox as Zelda. There was some vehicle and flying portions of the game, but for the most part of the game, you were running around on the ground, going on an adventure like a Zelda game. The game has kind of gotten a cult-like status now, where people just talk about how much they love it and would love to see a return, but nobody ever really thought that we would see the return of Star Fox Adventures, let alone it being a brand new game. If this rumor does prove to be true, and in 2025 we get a brand new Star Fox, but a brand new Star Fox Adventures, I definitely think that would be pretty cool and pretty hype. But it remains to be seen. It is a rumor right now, so take it with a grain of salt. But if this pans out and it turns out to be true, that would be pretty hype. It wasn't specified in the post whether or not this was just an OG Switch game, or if there's a Switch 2 version, or if it would just be Switch 2 through backwards compatibility. But either way, adding a new Star Fox game onto the list of games coming out on the Nintendo Switch, and maybe Nintendo Switch 2 this year, that is pretty cool and has me pretty excited. But what do you think? Do you believe the rumors of a brand new Star Fox Adventures coming out this year on the Nintendo Switch? Did you play the game back in the day, and how did you feel about it? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you disappointed that it wasn't Dinosaur Planet? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and you like this content, please hit that like and subscribe button so you can get more of my videos on Nintendo Switch, and gaming discussion. It really helps a lot, and I truly appreciate it. And again, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I'll see you later. Have a good one. Peace.